Hey guys, Love Book Triangle, Lindsay here. I recently just saw the play Cat in the Hat with my K4, K5 classroom, and I thought it would be fun to do a video on different children's books. Now, one series that I think is great for kids, and not only do I love, is If You Give a Mouse a Cookie series. And this one is just really fun because if you haven't heard of it, this mouse, he starts off doing something, wanting something, and then all of a sudden it just keeps going and going and adding on from there. He does one thing only to want another and another, and it's just a really fun book because it all wraps around right back to the beginning. One thing that I do with my kiddos in the classroom is for the book If You Take a Mouse to School, we do an activity where then we read the book and then the kids get to think of an animal or even the mouse, and if they brought one to school, what would they do with that animal? It's really fun for the kids, and it's fun to see what they come up with. So there's the original, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, and then If You Take a Mouse to School. Then there's If You Give a Pig a Party. If You Give a Moose a Muffin. Then I have the Spanish version, If You Take a Mouse to the Movies. I can't actually read this, but when I was in college, we got the Scholastic book orders a lot, and this one was $1, and thought, why not, right? Here's If You Give a Pig a Pancake, and lastly, If You Give a Cat a Cupcake. There is also If You Give a Dog a Donut, but I do not have that one yet. But they're just really, really fun books, and it was cool because the store Kohl's, the department store, they have their Kohl's Care program when they will get books in and stuffed animals to go along with the books. And one time they had this series, and I was able to get the pig to go along when reading the book, so that's fun for the kids also to be able to see the pig, hold the pig when we're reading the books. So next, when I was younger, I really enjoyed the Laura Ingalls Wilder's and Little House on the Prairie books. And for those of you who aren't familiar with this, it's about back in the early pioneering days, this family called the Ingalls. They started in Wisconsin, but then they traveled to Minnesota, and it's just about their lives and the adventures they go on, and I just really love the series and the show as well. And excuse my cat Sherman in the background. I see he's exploring back there. But when I was younger, I got this fun box set because I liked it so much. And then I have, I think this was a double with the box set, but then there's just some other fun books to go along with it as well. And I'm not sure if the TV show is still on. I know sometimes I kind of see it running, going through the reruns, but I would watch it if you had a chance. It's just fun seeing the different stuff from back in the day and the adventures that Laura goes on. And it was just a fun read for me as a kid. It's one of my favorites. And another one of my favorites when they really started getting into chapter books was the Little Sisters series. This is a spin-off of the Babysitters Club, and it's one of the girls' little sisters, and there's so many books with this too, and just her little adventures and going around town, and I think that's just, it was really fun for me too. I just love these. So that's another thing to go pick up. I have so many of these. And just grabbed the first one. A lot of my books are still at my parents' house. Another series that I really loved as a child is the Boxcar Children books. It's about this family. It's just these 4 kids. They don't have anyone else, and they find this boxcar, and they live in the boxcar. And it just talks about how they go about living together, supporting each other, and still being able to do all this different stuff. And that was fun because just as a kid you're thinking, wow, these kids are living by themselves in a boxcar. So that was another really, really fun series for me as well. I don't know how many of you have heard of the Little Critter books by Mercer Mayer, but then they came out with these other books where Little Critter, Elsie, is older and bigger, and I haven't read these or really even looked at them in so many years, but this was another fun series to read about because they're all growing up and he's going on his own adventures now as well, and it's just fun to be able to move from one book and go on to the characters growing just like you are as well. So these were really fun for me, really fun for me as well. There's a whole bunch of these. And then these books, the Amelia books, go along with the American Girl dolls. And, well, not the American Girl dolls, but the American Girl doll company. And I really liked these books because this girl Amelia is kind of quirky, and she has all these different journals she writes in. And there's these little pictures that go along with it, like her little doodles, and that's fun. There's interactive stuff in the books, like a little envelope that opens up and you can pull out the little letters, and I just always thought that was really fun. And they also had a journal where you could write in and you could doodle just like Amelia, so I liked that because I got to do my own little stuff and write just like her. But these were just really, really fun too. So that's another one of my favorites from when I was a little kid. Then this book, The Kissing Hand by Audrey Penn, I think is a good book to read for kids just starting to go to school. It's about this little raccoon. He's getting ready to go to school for the first time, and he is worried, so his mom kisses his hand, and hence the kissing hand. And it's also just a fun read to start off with the kids at the school year. Like, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. And it's a really cute read. Another thing I loved growing up when I was really getting into chapter books is the Goosebumps books. Now, I really wasn't into just the regular Goosebumps books, but they had these where, reader beware, you choose the scare. And it's where you go to a page, and then at the end, it tells you to go to a different page. Like here, it says go to this page, and on this side, it's the end of a story. So you kind of get to choose your own path, and you are kind of choosing the story's ending with which way you go. So I just thought that was a really fun way to interact with the book, and you're just not going through it like any other book. You get to jump around. So I thought that was really fun. And I know at the school I work at, I see some kids reading the Goosebumps books still, and I know the movie helped promote them a lot more again too. So these just a fun thing to do, being able to jump around and kind of you get to be the boss of the book. Then when I was younger, there's this book called Yoohoo Moon, and it's about this little girl who's trying to go to sleep, but she can't because she doesn't see the moon. She doesn't know where the moon is, so she goes looking for it, and all these other animals are trying to help her find the moon so she can finally go to sleep. And I just remember it being a cute read before I went to bed. Like, she was looking for the moon to go to sleep, and I was looking for this book, so that was just a fun one. And lastly, what I have to show you is some Curious George books. Now, I love Curious George, and I think I really started getting my Curious George collection when I was older, and I just love how curious little George is. He's such a cute little monkey, and all the mischief he gets into, and it's just really, really fun. So I would recommend these to any little kid. I think they would get a good laugh out of the adventures that George goes on. But it's just really fun, and it's just something I really remember from my childhood, and it was just fun to be able to start getting the books when I was older. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes if I happen to catch the kids show on TV, I'm gonna watch it, and sometimes we watch some stuff with the kids, and if I can pick George, I'm gonna pick George. But those were just really, really fun reads for me and reads that I remember when I was growing up. So in the comments below, leave some books that were a favorite of yours as a child, or maybe you have some recommendations for me to read to my K4, K5 kiddos in the class. I'm always looking for fun new books. Like I know a series that's popular at school is the Splat the Cat books as well, or there's Pete the Cat, and we read the Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat book to prepare for the play so the kids could kind of get a feel for what they were going to see at the play, so that was fun for them too. So yeah, if you have any book recommendations or just want to talk about what you liked as a kid, comment below. See you later, guys.